I thought we generally played pretty hard. I think that's a real positive for us. Good defensive activity. Um, Mostly took care of the basketball. So those are things that I thought we did well. Um, I mean, there's a lot of things we got to clean up. Staying connected. Obviously, we got beat on a ton of back cuts in the first one, some in the second one. I mean, some of that's the nature of the scheme, but there's always things that we can clean up. We can be more connected. We can talk better. We can be better in transition. We can be better on the glass. And we have to. We have to improve to get to where we want to go. I think we have been playing well, but we haven't played a team in conference with a winning record either. So, there's a lot of work left.
Talk about the glass. Grand Canyon's a huge team. So is Boise. They're size-wise, they're both pretty similar. Does that concern you with the rebounding, with what Grand Canyon's bringing in?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what do you have to do to combat how they attack the boards?
Yeah, I mean, we have to play with physicality. We have to we have to rebound as a group. We had a few in both games where we're not coming back to the ball or we're overrunning long rebounds. So there's some technique things that we're still working out. But yeah, it's not one guy's job to we have a couple guys who do a good job on the glass. Thomas Love's a monster on the glass, but it's a collective effort to finish possessions.
And then Jaden Henley specifically, I know Makai Williams off the bench is actually probably their best point guard in a lot of more traditional sense anyway. But Jaden Henley's been great at times this year. What problems does he present to you?
Yeah, really talented offensive player. Puts a lot of pressure on the paint, shoots the basketball, creates his own shot. Really good size, so depending on matchups, can present some problems there. I mean, they're a really good team. The front court's really good. Shaw's playing well, shooting the basketball. They got Williams is really dynamic. It's a huge challenge for us.
I asked you about this on Saturday. You guys had a long stretch where you hadn't given up just a 6-0 run. I know it's kind of arbitrary where to pick what run is worth kind of noting, but you guys went 88 minutes without giving up a 6-0 run. You guys have had long stretches this year where you haven't let the other team go on a kill shot for the Evan Maya term, or just a long 9-0 run or extended runs. Is that something you can kind of explain? I know you said it was complementary basketball, but is that something you can explain, that you've never let a team sort of take over a long moment of a game like that?
Well, I mean, I think we're kind of cherry picking 80 minutes, right? Where if you go back, we have allowed those things and we have had droughts. But no, I don't really have an explanation for why it would. Other than we're playing pretty well on both sides of the ball, which allows you to get stops and score, and you can kind of counter those runs. So, yeah.
So, Coach, you've been talking about how much of a challenge this is going to be, but I guess how big is it getting the opportunity to do it at the pit, playing at home?
Yeah, I mean it's a great opportunity. For us, come back home. We've been on the road for a while, so I know our guys are excited to come back home and play in an environment here. We hope everybody comes out to see it and helps us, because we certainly need it. They've played well on the road. They just had a big win at Boise, outplayed them pretty convincingly through that game, which if you look at how we performed there, that wasn't something we were able to do. So we need the crowd. We need everything we have available to us to have success against a really good team.
So the news hasn't dropped yet, but I'm guessing that Jake Hall will get Freshman of the Week. Just kind of talk about him. Obviously, he's had his highs and his lows, and coming back and having a night like that, what does it say about him?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he's been pretty consistent, actually. He's been pretty good most games. He's not perfect. Obviously, he's a freshman, but no, he's a capable player. I think he's getting a lot better on defense. Honestly, I thought starting with Wyoming, and then on the week too, I thought he's really played well defensively. He had 7 rebounds in the last one, so he understands that he's got to be more than just a guy that scores points and makes shots to really kind of become the player he's capable of being and wants to become. But he understands that, and I think he's motivated to do it. So yeah, he's been playing well for us.
Coach, your depth with you, James Miller has played really well the last 2 games, and he hadn't played, before those games, hadn't seen a lot of minutes. Talk about his contributions against Colorado State and against Air Force.
Yeah, he's been playing really well for us. Really since Chris went down, his role's increased and he's been taking advantage of it. I thought Colorado State he played really well defensively, provided some physicality in some of the matchups where we played a little more one-on-one. And then he shot the ball great on the week, and that's a bonus for us. If he's playing well defensively, he can help us, and he's certainly a capable offensive player. So it's good to see the ball go in for him.
Grand Canyon's 7-footer Every Demerol has played well for them the last 2 games. What have you seen him do well, and what is the key for New Mexico slowing him down defensively?
Yeah, he's really physical. I think he's a problem for us just with his size and physicality. We saw that a little bit with Boise where, their front court was able to really protect the basket, and their physicality impacted us, and I think Grand Canyon is similar. So he's a big part of what they're doing defensively. They have I think top 25 or close to it, defense, and he sort of anchors that. So, yeah, he's a very good player, and they have several very good players.
New Mexico, the last couple of games, got 43 points off the turnovers. Talk about how your defense has created some transition opportunities, and is this a game where you feel some of that can carry over against Grand Canyon?
Yeah, I thought we did well in both the last games with creating some turnovers, and we've done a nice job there of converting that into transition. So that's something we always want to do, but every game's a little different. We want to do that in every game. We haven't been able to. We were able to accomplish in the last 2. We'd like to build on that, but Grand Canyon's a good basketball team, so we'll see if we can keep doing it.
Coach, any updates on Chris Howell or Kevin Patton? Do you have any updates?
No updates.
Coach, when you came in, everyone usually has a timeline of where they want their team to be by a certain point. How's your team looking right now from when you first came in?
Yeah, I don't have those timelines. I just want us to keep getting better. Like I said, I do think we're playing pretty good basketball right now, but what's good enough today is not going to be good enough tomorrow, and you have to keep improving because everybody else keeps improving. And we haven't played a team in the conference with a winning record. We haven't played anyone who's at or above where we are in the standings, and so we've sort of held serve, so to speak, and handled our business on the road, which is really encouraging and something you have to do. But I think starting with tomorrow night, we get a chance to see where we really are relative to some of the top teams in the league.
Thanks, Coach.
Uriah's numbers. I don't know if Uriah's going to get a Freshman of the Week this year or not, but he's definitely been one of the top freshmen in the league. I'm curious what you've seen of him and what you. I know you had mentioned you guys have been encouraging him he has to be aggressive. He has to stay aggressive. Is he buying into that? Is he doing what you're wanting him to do with the aggression?
Yeah, I think he's trying to find where he can be aggressive. I think it starts with just thinking score. For him, I think sometimes he drives the pass a little more than we'd like. We want him thinking score first and make people stop him. Sometimes I feel like he gives the defense too much credit. He's capable of scoring individually and from different places on the floor, and we'll need him to do that tomorrow as well. But he also needs to be a little more efficient from 2, and I like his shot selection, but yeah, we want him to be a little more aggressive and find a way to increase his efficiency, maybe get to the free throw line a little more.
And then Luke's minutes, they've been really good, especially considering the absence of Chris. Is Luke more of is it a game by game sort of what Luke is going to show up in terms of you want him to drive, you want him to take a few more outside shots, you want him to distribute? Is he kind of one of those guys that's really a matchup? He changes based on what you need in the matchup.
I think Luke does a good job of kind of finding ways to impact the game and impact winning, and so I think that's more just his natural game and how he plays it more than we're trying to deploy him in any sort of specific way. I think he just has a really kind of innate understanding of how to play and how to impact the game and what he does defensively. And again, he's we've talked about it before, but his contributions don't always show up in the box score. Chris Howell is someone who's like that, but you know, he's someone that everybody would want on their team.
6 days on the road, and I was singing country songs about it, and you guys were gone, and like, you guys won't have another one like that until tournament time. Hopefully, tournament time for you guys. Did you come back any different, like seeing the team together that much on the road? And was there any kind of big takeaway from the 6 days other than the games themselves?
I thought the guys did a good job of, you know, focusing on during the times that we need to focus. You know, you can kind of get a little lackadaisical if you're not careful, just laying around or, you know, doing whatever with all the downtime. But I thought our focus was good, so that's something we could take away. Our guys like spending time together. They're, you know, I think we like where the vibes are with the group, and but you know, otherwise just a lot of time away. Wasn't my favorite thing, but it is what it is.
Probably harder on the coaches.
I mean, just being away from
Family.
family for that long is not my favorite, but you know.